Ang aking audio.
Yes
Good
po.
afternoon po, ma'am. Yes po.
Okay. Okay, so lahat ng lecture natin na for this chapter 3 was already uploaded in our Google Classroom. Okay, nakakita nyo ba?
Yes po, ma'am. Nakita po.
Okay. So last week, we have discussed the standard vapor compression cycle. So ito yung naging discussion, tama ba? Yan, ito yung ginamit natin na lecture from last week. So another lecture was uploaded, actually additional to, and this is kasabay nung ginamit natin last week. So discuss lang natin how or what are the modifications made in the reverse Carnot cycle, kung bakit tayo nagkaroon ng standard vapor compression cycle, which is a cycle working as a refrigeration system. So sabi nga, based on our introduction din, dun sa ating refrigeration system, it is based on the reverse Carnot. Okay, yung steam cycle, Rankine cycle was based in Carnot cycle. So some modifications were made. Ng refrigeration, certain space or cool or maintain a certain space below the temperature of its surrounding temperature. So this simple or standard vapor compression cycle and other refrigeration system was based on the reverse Carnot cycle. So based on our introduction, ito yung ating naging lecture sa introduction, for Carnot refrigeration cycle, what component for the expansion process is a turbine. Kasi sabi nga, based on our Carnot cycle, its main component is a turbine. So, ganun din yung ginamit for our reverse Carnot. So, we have the turbine. But, there are some modifications made, in the TS diagram of this Carnot cycle to make sure that this will work in an actual process. Okay? So, chat na lang sa GC, Lozelle, kapag medyo naglalag, para dire-diretso yung discussion natin. So, ano yung mga modifications that was made here in the TS diagram para magkaroon tayo ng standard vapor compression cycle? So, if we are going to compare, here, this Carnot cycle or Carnot refrigeration cycle in the standard vapor compression cycle, ano yung mga naging difference? Naalala nyo pa ba yung diniscuss natin last week? So, ano yung mga naging difference dun sa ating standard vapor compression cycle? So, eto. Okay. So, ito yung ating pH diagram. So, disregard nyo muna yung numbering, no? Tingnan nyo muna yung pH diagram, yung itsura niya. So, what is the difference of this? Ito yung TS diagram. Ito yung TS. Kita ba yung aking cursor? Kita ba? Hello? Hello everyone? Naririnig nyo pa ba ako?
Ma'am, hindi po.
Hindi ba kita yung cursor natin?
Opo.
Okay, wait lang. Wait. Open natin in Google Docs para makita ninyo yung ating, kasi parang nakikita naman ata siya. Ito ba kita na? Ito, kita? Kita ba?
Parang di pa din po.
Hindi po.
Hindi ba?
Hindi po.
So, ganito na lang. Wait. Ay. Ang sara. Ito na lang. I think, kita naman na. Kita kaya? Ay, bakit hindi kita? Ito. Wait. So, yon again, yung TS diagram. May TS diagram naman kayo dyan, di ba, nung dinrawing ninyo nung last week. Di ba? Pero ito siya.
Meron po.
Mahirap lang mag-share ng iba pang screen. Sabagay, hindi naman kita yung cursor natin. Pero ito yung TS diagram natin, which is tama, di ba? Same dun sa dinrawing nyo last week. Okay, tama ba?
Opo, ma'am.
Okay, and then yung ating Carnot refrigeration cycle, ano yung mga nakikita ninyong pagbabago? Or ano yung mga nagbago? Kasi sabi natin, some modifications are made para maging standard vapor compression cycle siya, para mag-work siya in an actual scenario or mapagana talaga siya in an actual component or equipment na feasible, and at the same time, tinake into consideration yung mga economic situation na meron dun sa reverse Carnot cycle. So based on the reverse Carnot cycle or the Carnot refrigeration cycle, what are the difference in terms of the TS diagram pagdating dito sa ating standard vapor compression cycle? So, naalala nyo ba yung sa Carnot? So kung hindi naaalala, ito siya. Ayan, take a picture na lamang. Ayan. Take a picture of this TS diagram of the reverse Carnot cycle. Ito siya. Wherein yung after compression process, saka siya maging saturated vapor, 2 to 3 condenser, liquid, and then wet mixture dito, compression process, which is isentropic, and then 4 to 1 addition of heat. So after addition of heat, kung mapapansin nyo, the difference is standard saturated vapor. Pero dito sa Carnot refrigeration cycle, meron tayong wet compression. So ano ibig sabihin natin ng wet compression? The phase of the refrigerant before it enters our compressor is wet mixture. So meron tayong combination of liquid and vapor. While dun sa standard vapor compression cycle natin, meron tayong saturated vapor. So let us discuss bakit at anong mga nangyari, why it happened. But before that, let us review this simple vapor compression cycle which we discussed last week. So again, this is the pH and TS diagram of the so that is the pH and TS diagram of the standard vapor or the simple vapor compression cycle. So, as I have mentioned last week, hindi dapat kayo magbe-base sa numbering system. So mag-base kayo, yung mga component na nandoon sa process line na yon, kasi minsan nagbabago talaga yung numbering doon. So if ever, for example, nagbago na yung numbering niya doon sa problem solving, baka hindi mo na siya ma-solve kasi malilito ka na. So kaya ganon, ibig sabihin, hindi tayo dapat mag-base doon sa numbering system. So magbe-base tayo doon sa process. So like for example, start natin at process 2 to 3 muna. So in process 2 to 3 natin, kung mapapansin nyo, it became saturated vapor. So this is where the heat addition at constant pressure happens in the evaporator, which makes it saturated vapor. So again, 1 to 4 natin is the compression process, making our refrigerant high pressure, high temperature, or superheated refrigerant. Then 4 to 1, it became saturated liquid, condensing or releasing heat from to the surrounding. And then process 1 to 2, this is the constant enthalpy process in the expansion valve with its corresponding TS diagrams. You have to be careful on how you're going to check for the values. You have to make sure that you know the phase in each of the state points para hindi kayo malilito. So dito, ayan yung mga pinagkaiba dun sa TS diagram natin. So yun yung mga titingnan natin. Ano yung mga naging modification? Bakit nagkaganito? Bakit nagkaganito yung nag-start sa reverse Carnot cycle. So this is the component or the this work cycle analysis or the cycle analysis. cycle analysis, so ito naman is the same lang dun sa diniscuss natin face-to-face last week. Yun. So ito din yung sinolve natin na problem, nasa ano din, so tingnan na lang din ninyo doon. Okay. So this is the classical refrigeration cycle, which is the reverse Carnot cycle. So the most recent classical refrigeration cycle is the Carnot cycle, and yung reverse Carnot cycle, yun yung naging classical refrigeration cycle natin. So the modification of Carnot refrigeration cycle are dictated by practical consideration. So ano yung mga consideration na yun? Iisa-isahin natin yun. The Carnot refrigeration cycle is the one whose efficiency cannot be exceeded when operating between two given temperatures. So isipin nyo na lang, meron tayong saturation line dito. Na tumama yung saturated liquid line sa state point 3 and saturated vapor line at state point 2. So, if we're going to base on the pH diagram of the simple or standard vapor compression cycle, yung nakikita nating isang modification is that after yung state point 1 natin is saturated vapor na. And at the same time, yung state point 2 natin, meron tayong superheated, high pressure, high temperature refrigerant. State point 2, superheated. And then 3 to 4, this is TS diagram. And at turbine, meron tayong constant entropy or isentropic process. So in the standard vapor compression cycle or the simple vapor compression cycle, it is no longer isentropic kasi yung turbine natin was replaced by an expansion valve. Making it, na yung process natin is an isenthalpic process. Wherein our enthalpy at state point 3 and 4 is equal. So, bakit nagkaroon ng mga ganong modification? So, let us discuss it. Okay? So, this one was discussed and then in our introduction part. So, ito na lang din yung inyong i-consider na other formula for the reverse or the Carnot refrigeration cycle. So, dito, nagkaroon tayo ng derivation kung saan kinuha yung T1 over T2 minus T1 as our COP or coefficient of performance of refrigeration is the ratio of the amount of heat absorbed at cold room to the network of the cycle as referred to TS diagram. And the next thing is that the performance factor, you have to add 1 lamang dun sa COP to get the PF or the performance factor. So I will give you 15 minutes to solve this problem. So I know that you're already aware dun sa QA natin, UA, sa heat transfer. So you have to get UA value, which is in kilowatt per degree Kelvin, wherein the change of temperature is 5 degrees Celsius. So now, please solve this problem muna for 15 minutes. I'll give you 15 minutes. Can you please read this, John Kenneth?
Yung example problem po.
Yes, Utoy.
A certain refrigeration system maintain the cold room at negative 18 degrees Celsius and can reject heat to the atmosphere of 35 degrees Celsius. If the refrigerating capacity is 100 kilowatts, letter A, what is the COP of the system of refrigeration? B, determine the performance factor. C, what is UA value in kilowatts? Degree Kelvin at delta T is equal to 5 degree Kelvin.
Okay, so please solve this for 15 minutes. Then we'll discuss it after. So ito, kasama na doon sa lecture natin ngayon, sa white band paper. Clear ba? Pa-thumbs up naman ako kung clear tayo doon. Type it here in the in-call messages. So lahat na lang mag-type. Pa-thumbs up din ako kung nandito na kayo. Okay, so please type here in the in-call messages. So COP, the performance factors, you have to add only 1. and what is the UA value. So, nandito din naman sa lecture, so I hope na. So, for COP, so we just use the temperature and make sure again to add 273.50. And then for the performance factor, we just have UA value. This formula came from the heat transfer, no? So UA is kilowatt per degree Kelvin, or pwede rin naman direct lang na lang. So since nakalagay din naman yung kinukuha dyan na unit, so it is more unit analysis kung hindi kayo aware dun sa formula. Kasi ang tinatanong din naman dyan is kilowatt per degree Kelvin. So any question dito? Pa-thumbs up naman ako kung clear tayo. Bakit ang dami natin dito? 50. Madami ba naglipatan dito? Pa-inform na lang ako, palagay din dito sa in-call messages, yung mga hindi talaga dito sa hindi talaga sa section na to. Pero ang alam ko talaga may ibang lumipat. Pero alam ko dalawa lang yung nagsabi, hindi tayo aabot ng 50. So yun. Yung mga taga-ibang section na nandito sa meet natin, lagay na lang dito sa para mag-attendance din kayo. Dito sa in-call messages and then write your section. Section, tas name na lang. Tas Lozelle, panote na lang din sa'yo. Thank you. So here are the modification of the TS diagram when using vapor or gas refrigerant in the Carnot cycle, which is represented by this one. Okay, so since in a gas cycle, yung ating working fluid, so meaning, makikita natin yung gas siya. So ibig sabihin, it cannot be liquid or cannot change phase. Gas lang talaga siya. So ibig sabihin, if there is an addition of heat, makikita natin siya sa pagtaas ng temperature. If there is a condensation or rejection of heat, makikita natin siya sa pagbaba ng temperature. So yun yung sinasabi dito. So let's focus on the comparison of wet compression and dry compression. So as I have mentioned kanina, kita natin yung TS diagram of a reverse Carnot refrigeration cycle is in the wet mixture. Yung bago pumasok ng compressor. So ibig sabihin, in that case, magkakaroon tayo ng wet compression. So ibig sabihin dito at state point 1, meron tayong wet mixture na papasok sa compressor. So ibig sabihin, ang tawag doon is wet compression. So in figure 6, process 1 to 2 is wet compression because the entire process occurs in the mixture region with droplets of liquid present. So when a reciprocating compressor is used, ito yung mga factors that discourage the practice of wet compression. So that's why we transition to dry compression. So ano yung mga practice or several factors that discourage the wet compression? So one is that the liquid refrigerant may be trapped in the head of the cylinder by the rising piston, possibly damaging the valves of the cylinder head. Yun yung isa. So ibig sabihin, to avoid damage the valve of the cylinder head, kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng dry compression because wet compression or liquid refrigerant may be trapped in the head of the cylinder that may cause the damage of the valve of the cylinder head. And then another possible danger of wet compression is that, take note that droplets of liquid may wash the lubricating oil from the walls of the cylinder. That accelerates wear. So this is related on the topic that we have discussed in the refrigerant, wherein doon sa 7th section ata yun, na oil and refrigerant. So from that, discuss what are the lubricating oils that is used in the compressor. So that's the clear reason, kung bakit hindi tayo magkakaroon or kung bakit hindi pwede na magkaroon ng wet compression. Kasi the liquid droplets may wash or matanggal niya yung lubricating oil from walls of the cylinder. And pag natanggal na, ibig sabihin, metal to metal. So ibig sabihin, it will accelerate wear on the process. So from wet compression, what we did, is the modification made in the TS diagram that instead of compressing it as a wet mixture, gagawin siyang saturated vapor. So another modification made in the TS diagram of the Carnot refrigeration is to use dry compression. So the suction of the compressor is set to the saturated vapor line and compressed isentropically to the condenser pressure level. So compression of dry vapor results in temperature at point 2, which is higher than the condensing temperature. So ano yung naging result? So dalawa. So aside from making it saturated vapor at the end of the evaporating process, kailangan maging saturated vapor siya before pumasok ng compression process. So another result is that nagkaroon tayo ng nagkaroon tayo ng high pressure, high temperature steam. Ay refrigerant pala. Kasi in our Carnot refrigeration cycle, kapag ka nag-undergo ng wet compression, the compression process will make the refrigerant saturated vapor lamang. But if syempre galing siya sa saturated vapor and same process ng compression or work yung in-input natin, magkakaroon tayo ng high pressure, high temperature steam, which is clearly shown na meron tayong superheated horn dito for the TS diagram. Malinaw kung ba't nagkaroon ng ganun? Can you please thumbs up kung clear tayo doon? Okay. Okay. So, ibig sabihin, kita na natin yung saturated vapor at kung bakit siya nagkaroon ng superheated na part. Okay? So, another is the expansion process. So, kung mapapansin nyo, dun sa TS diagram, slightly, pag ganito yan, line dyan. So, naka-slightly, yan. Meaning, yun yung nagsashow na isenthalpic process siya. Kasi dun sa ating Carnot refrigeration cycle, meron pa tayong straight line showing that we have constant entropy o yung expansion process natin is just isentropic, which is process 3 to 4 dito. So, another modification made in the Carnot refrigeration cycle TS diagram is the expansion process. So, ano yung mga dahilan bakit siya kailangan baguhin? Ano yung mga dahilan bakit kailangan siyang i-modify? So, one main reason is kung mapapansin ninyo sa turbine, explain naman siya dito. So, again, another revision on the Carnot dry compression is made to alter the expansion process. So, the Carnot cycle demands that expansion takes place isentropically and that the resulting work be used to help drive the compressor. So, maalala nyo, expansion process sa turbine kapag Carnot cycle, meron tayong work output. And yung idea na yung output ng turbine natin pwedeng gamitin na input work doon sa compressor is a good idea, but there are practical difficulties that mitigate the use of the expansion engine. So ano yung mga naging dahilan? So merong mga output work, but sabi dito, the first practical difficulty is that the possible work that can be derived from the engine is a small fraction of that which must be supplied to the compressor. So, ibig sabihin, yung kukunti yung work output ng expansion engine natin, kung siya yung ilalagay natin. Oo, ibig sabihin, mapapababa niya yung, ano ba yung main purpose natin doon sa process na yon? Mapababa yung temperature, ay yung pressure natin from condensing pressure to evaporating pressure. And based on the Carnot refrigeration cycle, ang gamit doon is an expansion engine. But again, there are practical difficulties and the first one is kukunti lang yung work output, na hindi siya sufficient para maparan yung compressor natin. Although, okay lang naman kung hindi naman totally lahat. But, ano pa yung another reason is yung 3 dito. move muna tayo sa 3 before tayo bumalik sa number 2 kasi connected siya. The third one is the economic of power recovery have in the past that justify the cost of the expansion engine. So this mean that yung konting work na yun does not justify the cost ng expansion engine. Kasi ang main process lang naman talaga kailangan natin doon is the expansion process. And yung paggamit ng expansion engine and yung ideal na pwede tayong makakuha ng work na yun, it does not justify the cost o ng pagkakaroon ng expansion engine sa isang refrigeration system kasi masyado siyang mahal for its purpose at yung sa work na nabibigay niya. So the possibility of using the expansion engine should continue to be studied, however, as the cost of energy increases also. So another thing is that yung practical difficulties such as lubrication and truth when a fluid of two phases drive the engine. Kasi normally, sa steam cycle, di ba, ang napasok dun is high pressure, high temperature steam. Tapos yun yung magpapatakbo sa mga turbine blades, kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng work output. Yun yung pinaka-output work natin. But in here kasi, kung mapapansin nyo dun sa ating TS diagram, saturated liquid siya. Hindi pa siya vapor, no? Liquid totally siya. So, ibig sabihin, because of that, practical difficulties such as lubrication and truth when a fluid of two phases drive the engine. So that's the three reason why there is a reason for some modification para mapagana siya in an actual process. So the necessity will still remain at reducing the pressure of liquid in process 3 to 4. That's the main function, mapababa yung pressure from the condensing pressure to the saturated to the evaporating pressure. So a throttling device such as valve or other restriction is almost universally used for this purpose. So barring changes in potential and kinetic energy and with no transfer of heat in H3 is equal to H4, so ibig sabihin, ang process natin is isenthalpic process. The main reason kung bakit siya nakatagilid dun sa TS diagram natin and tuwid naman siya dun sa pH diagram, yung process 3 to 4 natin dito, yung numbering natin. But on previous 3 to 4 pala siya. 3 to 4 nga siya. Dun sa na-drawing nyo last week. Yun yung dahilan kung bakit yung process 3 to 4 natin is tuwid or isenthalpic process. Kasi instead of the use of the turbine or expansion engine, ang ginamit natin is a valve. So the throttling process takes place from 3 to 4. And the TS diagram in the figure shows a standard vapor compression of refrigeration, which we previously discussed. So, naintindihan? Malinaw ba yung mga naging reason natin? Okay, so what you should put in your lecture is to include all those reasons in bullet form kung ano yung pagkakaintindi nyo doon sa mga na-discuss natin. Okay, thumbs up tayo kung clear tayo doon. So again, ilalagay nyo yan sa lecture ninyo with supporting diagram, para mas naintindihan nyo yung mga nandito. So we already discussed these processes last week, so we don't need to discuss it further. Okay. So, clear ba tayo dito? Again, pa-thumbs up ako kung clear tayo. And then we'll move on to the next lecture that we have here. So, this is the second part before we move on to the discussion of the actual vapor compression cycle. So this is the effects of stop natin. So this is the effect of the different operating condition. So like for example, pag tumaas yung pressure, ay pag tumaas yung condensing temperature, pag tumaas yung pag bumaba or tumaas yung evaporating temperature, yung mga ganun na condition, so yun yung isa din sa mga kailangan ninyo ding malaman. So, we don't have any calculation for this one kasi yung calculation natin dito is same with the calculation of the standard vapor compression cycle. So, this is a compilation na of the different effects on the operating condition. Okay? So again, this is just a compilation of what will happen if, for example, the first one is if there is an increase in the vaporizing temperature. Ano ba yung vaporizing temperature natin? So instead of -10, in-increase yung vaporizing temperature niya ng 5 degrees. So what will happen doon sa ating mga other component? So sa COP, as you can see, increasing the vaporizing temperature increases. So it increases the COP. Okay, another thing is that kung makikita ninyo, konti lang naman yung magiging difference niya, pero as you can see, mas tumaas yung RE or yung refrigerating effect niya. So itong line na to, tsaka yun, tapos yung line ng 4-1 to 1-1 4- at saka 1-, tapos yung 4 to 1. So mapapansin nyo, mas mahaba, ng kaunti lang naman, pero mas mahaba pa din, yung 4- at 1, 4- to 1-. So meaning, tumaas yung refrigerating effect natin, yung QA natin. And pag tumaas yon, there is, ano ba yung relationship ng mass flow rate sa heat added? Di ba may formula tayo na heat added is equal to mass flow rate multiplied by the change of enthalpy. So ano yung relationship ng refrigerating effect or ng QA natin dun sa ating mass flow rate? What is the relationship? Is it directly proportional or is it inversely proportional? Okay, so based on our equation, tama din yung nandito natin, that there is a decrease in mass flow rate with an increase of refrigerating effect. Kasi yung kanilang relationship is inversely proportional. So another thing is kung ano yung mass flow rate, volume flow rate decreases also. And as you can see, based on the calculation, the COP increases and the work per ton decreases. So another is that the heat rejected at the condenser per ton decreases. So that is the effect of the increasing vaporizing temperature. So another is in the increase of the condensing temperature. So if there is an increase in condensing temperature, like for this one, from 40 it became 50 degrees Celsius. So ibig sabihin, kung bumaba naman yan, di babaliktaran nyo lang itong mga nandito. But again, yung mga nandito naman, you can solve this naman. So again, this is a compilation. So for an increase in the condensing temperature, the refrigerating effect per unit of mass, okay, kulang yan, dagdagan nyo na lang. So the refrigerating effect per unit of mass, kung mapapansin nyo, mas lumiit siya. It decreases. So since there is an inverse relationship between the RE and the mass flow rate, so the mass flow rate increases. The volume flow rate per ton also increases. The COP decreases, and the work per ton increases. So the heat rejected at the condenser per ton also increases. So those are the effect of increasing the condensing temperature. So this is also an effect of superheating the suction vapor. So normally in the standard vapor compression cycle, yung lalabas sa ating evaporator is saturated vapor. So what if there is a superheating? So ano yung nangyayari kapag nagkaroon tayo ng superheating? So effects of superheating the suction vapor. So number one is the refrigerating effect per unit of mass increases. So this is for useful cooling. The mass flow rate per ton decreases, the volumetric per ton decreases, the COP increases, and the work per ton decreases. So if the superheating occurs without useful cooling, this will happen. The RE will stay the same as well as the mass flow rate. The volume flow rate increases, the COP decreases, and the work per ton increases. And the heat rejected at the condenser per ton increases. So those are the result or effect of superheating the suction vapor. So as you can see, our COP increases for useful cooling, and without useful cooling, our COP decreases. So ito yung mga titingnan nyo din na dapat ba mataas yung temperature ng condensing temperature ko. Kasi kapag kataas ng condensing temperature, mas nagde-decrease yung COP natin. So yun yung mga i-consider nyo. I-increase ko ba yung vaporizing temperature? Kasi pag taas ng vaporizing temperature, mas tumataas yung COP natin. So another thing is yung subcooling of liquid. So need ba natin mag-subcool? Mainly, siguro oo, kasi it increases the COP. But you also have to take into consideration other factors. So for subcooling the liquid, the refrigerating effect per unit mass increases. As you can see, yung 4' to 1, 4 to 1, mas mahaba yung 4' kasi mas lumawak yung RE natin. Mas madami yung add na heat or maa-absorb na heat ng refrigerant natin in the evaporator coils. So since there is an inverse relationship between RE and the mass flow rate, so the mass flow rate decreases. Same with the volume flow rate. And subcooling the liquid can increase the COP, and the work per ton decreases, the heat rejected at the condenser per ton also decreases. So those are the effects. Ano yung mga doon? So may increasing the COP, increasing the condensing temperature, increasing the vaporizing temperature. So if decrease, di ba baliktaran nyo lang yung relation, And then we also have discussed the effects for superheating and effects for subcooling the liquid. Okay? So clear ba tayo dito? Any question? Clarification? May tanong ba? Okay. So, let's try to have this liquid to suction heat exchanger. So this is subcooling, superheating the vapor. Superheating the vapor and then subcooling the saturated liquid. But this is with the use of liquid to suction heat exchanger. So ito yung tinatawag natin na useful cooling, no? So liquid to suction heat exchanger, meron tayong additional component. So in here, gumagamit tayo ng heat exchanger as an additional component, but we can also base our calculation on the use of the standard vapor compression cycle. So take note na nagkaroon lang tayo ng additional component that you have to consider. So ano yung mga state points na kung nasan yung heat exchanger natin? Process 6 to 1, which is itong superheat, and then process 3 to 4, which is itong subcool. Okay, so meaning you have to take into consideration other variables also to check whether yung value na magagamit nyo are the same. Okay, can you please read this problem? Can I call on Avniel Blair Atienza? Can you please read this problem? So again, yung problem na to is yun yung system components niya. Kaya please also copy the problem also. Okay, so I'll give you, before you read this, Ayan. Kopyahan nyo muna yung system components kasama doon sa lecture. And then itong example problem number 1. I'll give you 5 to 10 minutes to do it para may written na kayo dyan. Okay? Clear ba tayo doon? Pa-thumbs up ako kung clear. And then Avniel, I'll call you later to read the problem.
Okay po.
Okay, so this is similar naman doon sa standard vapor compression cycle, although nagkaroon lang tayo ng auxiliary component. So as long as alam nyo naman kung ano yung process ng additional component sa cycle, hindi naman kayo malilito. So it is directly said din naman dito sa problem, the superheat and subcooled is the main reason bakit gumamit or ano yung naging effect ng paggamit ng liquid to suction heat exchanger. Abniel, can you please read the problem?
An ammonia refrigeration system has liquid to suction heat exchanger and operates at 36 degrees Celsius condensing temperature and negative 10 degrees Celsius evaporating temperature. If the heat exchanger provides, determine the following. A. Enthalpy of different section of the cycle. B. Mass flow rate of refrigerant in kilogram per second. And C. COP of the system compared with COP of a standard vapor compression cycle.
Okay, so what is asked in the problem? So what is asked are the enthalpy at the different section of the cycle, the mass flow rate of the refrigerant, and COP of the system compared with the COP of the standard vapor compression cycle. Okay. So let us try to solve this problem. Pero I'll give you 5 minutes to get the enthalpy at each state point. So ano yung makikita natin dito? At state point 1, hint lamang para mas makuha nyo yung mga um, mga values natin dito. Okay? So dun sa enthalpy natin at subcooled temperature, ano ba pag sinabi nating subcooled temperature? Paano din natin malalaman na alin yung subcooled temperature? So let us discuss the given first. So meron tayo dito operates at 36 degrees Celsius condensing temperature and negative 10 yung evaporating temperature natin. So if the heat exchanger provides 6 degrees subcooling, so meron tayong subcooling na 6 degrees Celsius. So kung yung ating condensing temperature is 36, so what is our T4? So at T3, kita natin that lies on the saturated liquid line. So pasok pa siya doon sa straight line na temperature which is 36 degrees Celsius. So now, dun sa condenser, dun sa heat exchanger natin, nagkaroon tayo ng subcooling. So from 36, nagkaroon tayo ng subcooling na 6. So what is RT4 ngayon? Can you please type it here in our in-call messages? Natin, from condenser, lumabas siya ng 36 degrees Celsius na saturated liquid. So dumaan siya dito sa heat exchanger, causing it to subcool, process 3 to 4. Ito yung 3 to 4. So meaning, ano na yung temperature natin at T4? Kasi from 36, nag-subcool ng 6 degrees. Ibig sabihin, bumaba ng 6. So now, our temperature at state point 4 is now, 30, that is correct. So subcool temperature is now 30 kasi nagkaroon tayo ng subcooling na. So what if sa superheat naman? What if may sinabi dito na superheat na 6 degrees? So what is our temperature at T1? Sample lang yun but it's not in the problem. So sample lang yun. Kung sinabi sa problem na nagkaroon tayo ng superheat from negative 10, di ba yun yung ating evaporating temperature? So from negative 10, nag-superheat daw siya ng 6. So ano na yung temperature natin at T1? Anyone? From negative 10, nag-superheat. So that is correct. Plus 6, that is negative 4. So naging negative 4 na yung T1. Sumaas yung temperature na. That is correct. Analyzation. Okay? So for now, what you should do,
is to get all the enthalpies available in the table. And also, you can do an energy balance dito sa heat exchanger to get other enthalpies. So, bali, ang hindi lang natin makukuha muna dito is the enthalpy at state point 2 kasi kailangan natin ng details at state point 1. So, state point 1 is superheated siya, pero pwede kayong mag-energy balance dito kasi makukuha nyo yung 3, 4, 5, and 6 sa table. Ano? So, from that, pwede kayong mag-energy balance. Yun yung dalawang way. Ano, pag meron kayong enthalpy na hindi makuha. It's either iisa yung value niya to get on the chart, or pwede kayong mag-energy balance sa mga component na kung saan siya nakakonekta. So, in this case, yung enthalpy 1 natin will be obtained through energy balance in the heat exchanger. So, yun. So, bali, ang makukuha nyo na, lahat dyan na enthalpy is 5. Ano, so, bali, titira lang yung 2. Malinaw ba? Again, I'll give you 5 to 8 minutes to get the enthalpies. Enthalpy natin. Okay, how about yung H1? Nakuha nyo din ba? Anong H1 na nakuha nyo? Can you please write it, type it here in the in-call messages? Ano yung inyong enthalpy 1 na nakuha through energy balance? Anyone? Hello? Nakuha nyo ba? H1? Pathumbs up nga ako nung nakakuha ng H1. Okay, so meron tayong 1479.408 and that is correct, no? Lagay na lang natin dito. Ayan. So kung mapapansin nyo, ano yung mga condition ito, kopyahin natin para isa-isa lang. So ano yung mga condition na, sabi sabihin, dito, so meron tayo ditong superheated, state point 1 and 2. So since meron tayong H1 na nakuha through energy balance, ano pa yung isa na condition para mahanap natin yung entropy? Yung entropy kasi at state point 1, kailangan natin yan at state point 2 kasi compression is isentropic. So kailangan natin palagi kuhanin yung inlet entropy sa compressor para magamit natin kapag ka isentropic compression siya. So meaning we need to get entropy 1 dapat hanggang entropy para makuha natin yung S2. 2. Yung S2 naman, we're going to use it to get the enthalpy. So, bale, ito ang kukunin nyo sa chart. Ano mga kukunin sa chart? So, S2, which is equal to S1, which is equal to entropy at anong mga condition. So, the first one is H1. And ano pa yung isang condition? Ano pa? Ano pa? So, wala naman yung changes ng pressure. So, pwede niyong gamitin yung P1, P1 or Psat at the evaporating temperature, which is -10. So, P1, which is equal to P6, which is equal to P5, no? And then, once na makuha niyo yung entropy, tinype ko na lang. So, once na makuha niyo yung entropy, kailangan niyo mahanap yung H2. And that H2 will be equivalent to the enthalpy at P2, then, at S2. Yung nakuha nyo at S2 and P2, which is equal to Psat at the condensing temperature, which is 36 degrees Celsius. Clear ba tayo doon? Malinaw? Pa-thumbs up naman ako kung clear tayo doon. Okay. Okay. So, the correct value for entropy, pwede siyang hindi directly kuhanin yung value ng entropy kasi pwede nyo siyang itapat na lang. So yung enthalpy natin, the correct value here is, yung mako-compute natin is 1721. Pero yung nandito sa, yan, patry na lang din kung anong makukuha yung value. So I'll give you 5 minutes. Pa-thumbs up ako kung clear tayo sa instruction. So you will get these values that I included here in the in-call messages. And then try to find enthalpy kung makukuha nyo ba siya. Okay? Thumbs up kung clear. Okay, hello. Hindi clear. Ayan, abot sa iba. Di ba clear sa iba? Ayan. Sige, kunin nyo muna yung sa chart. Medyo matagal kasi siyang kuhanin. Okay, so, hello? Okay, anong nakuha niyong enthalpy? Anyone? Okay. Kung ano lang nakita niyo, tingnan natin kung tatama siya. Okay. Nakuha niyo ba yung 17112 na sagot? Kasi di ko nakuha dun sa ano, baka ano yung kapagka dito sa screen. Pero tama yung 17112 base dito, pero hindi ko siya makuha. Ang nakuha ko is 1721. Pero pagka kita natin na tama naman siya, pa-share na lang ako ng kay kanino ba? Itong sa tatlong 'tong nag-send dito. Yan. Kasi iba yung tingin namin kanina, eh, baka mali lang din ako ng tingin. Ayan. Tapos discuss natin 'to next week kung ano nga ba yung tama na value dito. But for now, let's use the correct value muna kasi nakuha niyo naman pala siya. So let's use 17112 on the calculation now. Okay, thumbs up kung clear sa inyo. Then, pa-picture na lang kaya. Kaya niyo ba mag-send of Neil Ernest Shay ng picture kung paano niya kuha yung 1711, 1713 at 1714? Hello? Wala din kasi akong ginamit na ano kanina, pero dito ako sa ano naglagay. Di ko din siya makita na 17112 talaga siya. Pero ayun, pa-share ako ng inyong screenshot of Neil Ernest Shane doon sa GC, para makita ng mga kaklase niyo. So for now, let's use yung 17112, but we'll adjust the answer next week. Kung ano mang tamang sagot. Or kung ano yung makita natin sa chart next week. Clear ba? Malinaw. Kasi yung gagamitin naman nating chart dyan is yung chart na na-printed ko sa inyo. So ibig sabihin, kung ano talaga nandun, doon tayo mag-a-adjust. Clear ba? Pa-thumbs up ako kung clear tayo doon. Ayun. So discuss na natin sagot. So if you're going to use 17112, then we'll get the COP, the mass flow rate, which is 0.0451, and then yung ating COP na 4.765. So this was already in your lecture. So what you should do for the rest of the time that we have here is to muna nitong problem na to. Paano ba? Okay, ito. So, yung sa lecture natin, tsaka itong isang sample problem na to, kasama na to sa ipapasa. And then for now, send ko muna dito sa GC natin na 3207. Ito. Ayan. Okay. So, itong dalawang problem set na to, yan. This is for standard vapor compression cycle din. So wala pa din tayo masyado na-discuss for actual. So we'll discuss that, lalo na yung computation next week. Malinaw ba? Any question, clarification? Hello? Ayun. Any question? So for the rest of the time, please solve the two problems that I have sent to you. Pero kung hindi matapos, sa Biyernes pa din naman submission yan. And then submission for the problem set. Lizelle, can you please create a Google Sheet with different yan, yung column for lecture and then column for the first problem set number 1. Tapos, itong problem na to, i-add nyo na lang doon sa separate column. So, this will be submitted naman on Friday. Any question?
Ma'am, nag-post na po ako ng G-Drive link po dun sa classroom po natin. Pwedeng dun ko na lang po i-add ng another folder po.
Wag neng kasi baka mapuno yung account mo pag drive link mo yung sayo. So, bali, ang gagawin natin, yung separate drive link ng taga isang student, yun na yung ipopost sa Google Sheet. Para yung drive link, kanya-kanya. Malinaw tayo doon?
Sige po.
Ayun. So, kung
Okay po.
sakaling may nagpasa doon sa folder mo, i-inform mo na lang sila na buburahin mo na lang yung drive para hindi mapupuno yung account mo neng. No. So, again, magsasend kayo doon sa separate Google Sheet, Google Drive ninyo, and then yung link ipapasa nyo doon sa Google Sheet na gagawin ni Luzelle. Clear ba? Okay? Okay. So, if wala nang tanong, goodbye class. And again, for the rest of the time, please solve the remaining two problems. Okay, so meron tayo ditong English unit BTU per hour. So, alam nyo naman na din yung, pag-convert. So, yun. Okay, goodbye muna for now. Then, see you next week for a face-to-face meeting.